Ayan. Hello everyone. Welcome to Sky's the Limit. So, hindi pa ako tapos mag-set up ha. I-send ko muna to sa ating guest speaker. Hello. Ako si Jayan. Oh, thank you so much for coming. Stay po ako dito. Yan. Yan, salamat po. Ano lang, hindi ka hindi ko kasi kabisado pa tong StreamYard na 'to. Naguguluhan naguguluhan pa 'tong kung ano. Hindi ko na-link kanina sa sa nai-set ko na schedule kasi so kaya nagkagulo ata 'tong kina kaya lang, hina-hide or unlisted muna 'tong isa na nai-set up ko kanina. Tapos, send ko 'to sa mga kaibigan natin. Ayan. Hello, Teacher Trisha. She's here. Wait lang po, sure ha. Kasi nagkagulo yung nai-set up ko. Not so familiar with StreamYard. So parang just trying to learn muna. Okay, here. Ay, hindi pa siya, no. Okay. Tapos, good evening po sa lahat. So far, nandito na si Jayan o si Teacher Trisha. Thank you so much, sir. And ako si Jayan o. Sabihan ko muna itong mga ka-friendship natin na kasi nag-expect sila doon. Baka waiting and ano pa yung mga dami na message dito. Sana daw ako. Sana ako nandito ako. Hindi ko lang nahanap sarili ko. Sarili ko. Ayan, loading na tong isa. Yung account ko. Tapos, yan. Okay, there you go. Ayan. Sadik is friends nga pala, no? Sa, anong lingwahe po ba yun, Ako si Jay, yung sadik. Madalas ko naririnig. Pero I know na friends yung meaning, but hindi ko na, kung anong lingwahe yun. Arabic. Arabic na. Wow, nice word. Nakikinig nga pala ako kanina sa sa LS ni na TL Elo at sa ating Miss Earth Fire. Ang ganda ng usapan doon. Dami kayong natutunan. Dami na nag-waiting pala sa kabila. Refresh ko na lang. Ay, baka magkamali pa ako nag-send. Hello, Beshi Mia Patterson. Nakasupport lang dito, Besh. Thank you po. Yeah, so we're gonna have a very informative talk atid sa atin kay Teacher Trisha. Salamat po talaga, Teacher Trish, sa sa time nyo. I know you are so busy. Kasi dami-dami nyo ginagawa. And at last, we have scheduled a time for this. Okay, let me hold on. Hold on muna. Send ko muna to sa ating mga sadik. Gonna use your word po. Ako si JNO. And ang ano kasi pakinggan. Maganda siyang pakinggan. Hi, host. Good evening, good evening. Shout out to all from Catherine D. Tixon. Thank you so much, Kat. Thank you. Nag-send lang ako ng invite ha, kasi medyo nagkamali na din sa pag-set up. Hello po sa lahat. Thank you so much. Parang wala ng time na ano. Ayan, salamat sa patamsak. Thank you so much. Ang pangit nga ng thumbnail ko dito. But anyway, sige po. Salamat po sa nagpunta sa bahay ni Sky's the Limit. At sa mga kaibigan natin na nakatambay, salamat po. Pasensya na po at medyo nagkamali lang ng setup. I think this is my second time that I'm using StreamYard po and not so familiar with it, but I tried to read some tutorial, but I think may may mali sa setup ko. Hindi nag-handshake yung dalawang side. Saan ba to? Parang may echo kasi. Hinahanap ko muna. Thanks, Joanne. Hi, Joanne. At nandyan na din si JT Vlogs. Thank you so much for coming. All right, so we'll be starting in a few minutes or seconds. Can I say seconds? Medyo madami na tayo, no? So, send ko muna tong link kay Teacher Trisha. So, Teacher Trish, I'm gonna send you some link. So, I'll invite you here. And then, sa messenger ko lang i-send siya. Alright, so... And once you see the link, you just have to click on it. Okay, but before we're gonna have Teacher Trisha online with us, so just gonna give you some brief, we call this, talk of what we're gonna do today or for this live. So ngayon, my part 1 at part 2 tayo. So the serious one is always be the part 1 every time na mag-LS naman po ako. So that's gonna be the earlier part kasi nga medyo yung iba busy pa if ganito na time. Yung iba sa ibang time zone, medyo ano pa sila kumakain o anong natutulog pa. So parang ganun. Yung iba nasa labas pa. So medyo late ng konti dumadating yung mga kasisi at mga ka-friendship natin dito. So basically, the talk that we're gonna have for today is all about autism awareness. That's one major niche that I have on my channel. So that's getting us aware of what is autism and how we could better understand it and how we could better appreciate those people that has it or yung mga family members na may mga kids with autism sila. So minsan nga hindi natin pinapansin, 'di ba? So kaya mas naisipan ko dahil nga na-experience din namin and we wanted to share our journey with my kid Skye. Kaya nga Skye yung channel ko. Basically yung autism yung isa sa mga major na i-share ko dito. Like yung mga uploads ko, it's all about autism awareness and how we journey with my daughter having autism and also the other passion that I have. So basically, pang-good vibes din. And just to make sure na yung taong pumupunta magiging masaya din sa mga na-share nating video. So yung I have passion for gardening, real estate, yung mga travels, yung mga pinupuntahan namin as a family or as a person. So, yung mga anong nahiligan. So, sinishare ko dito. So, right now, we're gonna talk of what basically or how can we say or when can we say that a kid or a person has an autism. And we have we have a very intellectual person and I'm so glad that she was able to agree with me and support me on this intervention. This is one way for us to not just to express whatever passion that I have, but also I'm thinking of sharing our experiences to inspire other families and other persons that who or one way or another have experienced or meet with people having autism. So, sa ganitong paraan na-share ko din kasi madami din akong naririnig and mostly basically, hindi agad na-accept yung mga taong ganito or na-misinterpret sila. So, parang ganun. So, at this point, hindi naman agad-agad yan kasi. And parang bato nga, if you basically have drop on it, parang hindi yan, bato pa din yan. Pero if matagal na nag-drop yung mga water, yung droplets doon, manghina yung bato. And then, of course, eventually magi-give up siya. So parang ganun. So if you better inculcate on those person ideas or facts about autism and somehow naguguluhan din yung mga taong yun. Pero if palagi kayong nag-intervene na ganito siya, dapat ganun ang ating response. So basically matutunan na din nila and then maintindihan na din nila, di ba? So parang ganun, hindi man lahat ng tao ma-appreciate yung mga bagay na mga bagay na ginagawa natin, but at least I will be glad na isa, dalawa, tatlo tao nakikinig, and of course, parang may natutunan din sa mga ganitong sharing and this kind of platform that I could be able to share some information or valuable information then. And for those people or families that would be inspired, and a lot of those, one way or another, that I could be able to inspire them. And parang hindi ko pa na-send kay Teacher Trisha. So Teacher Trisha is one of our, like, isa sa mga therapists. She's an occupational therapist by profession. So she studied, baka later, she would be able to tell us more and about her experiences as an occupational therapist. And that this thing basically about autism might be hard for anyone to grab the thought right now, but unti-unti natin na ma-explain, and then teacher Trisha will be able to help us understand it, and basically on the topic that we're gonna do on when can we say that a kid has an autism, or what is autism all about. Okay, so sure na send ko na teacher yung invite. And thank you so much for those here. Ako si JNO, shout out sa inyo. Of course, si Teacher Trisha nandyan, si Junior Girl UK, si Catherine D. Tixon, Joanne, thank you po. JT Vlogs, thank you so much. And we also have May and Helen, thank you so much for supporting me here. And right, we have Mia Patterson. Ayan. So, gonna add Teacher Trisha right now in our live stream. And let's welcome with a round of applause.
Oh my god.
Hello,
Hi.
Cher. Wow, nice hair. New haircut,
Good
teacher.
evening. Good evening, everyone. I'm Teacher Trash.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Cher, for the time. I know you're so busy with all the color play that we have, and all that personal things, and of course, some church new. So, and I'm so glad that you're able to support me here. And a lot of you, sa your thoughts, Developmental Therapy Center, have been supporting me all the way this journey of what we have with Skye. And of course, we'll have Skye later on to join me
Okay.
here. So introduce mo na share yung self. I made like cute introduction earlier, but you can tell more.
Okay.
You can also
Um.
flex like where therapy
Oh, okay.
center that you've been connected to.
Sige. I'm very awkward in Tagalog, so I might say things straight English, or if I feel like talking in Tagalog, then maybe it comes out. I don't know. But hi everyone. I'm Teacher Trash. The kids call me. The kids know me as Teacher Trash. I don't usually say Teacher Trasha because it's difficult for them to remember. So I just use the short ones. I'm an occupational therapist, and I graduated in Velas College 2018, and then I took the boards and passed it
Mhm.
on August 2018, and then I immediately
Yeah.
worked there sa Your Thoughts Therapy Center, and I've been with them for 2 years. And okay, I'm actually just reading the comments that are popping out. Okay, um,
Yeah.
it's something new for me because I haven't tried going live stream, but
Uh,
um, yeah. So I'm
First
an
time.
occupational therapist, and then I'm I like currently, since the our center is actually closed, kasi we're following the mayor's office na what do you call that? Their guidelines. Like we're not yet allowed to host kids since it's also for their safety and also for our safety as well. And we're planning to open up real soon. So for those in your thoughts, we're going to contact you soon. And so what have I been up to? I'm just gonna share something about me since I've been given the
Mhm.
floor. Maybe I'm very madaldal or something. It depends. Um, I know, like currently since we're closed, I'm actually working with Cali Play. Cali Play is actually a virtual play date thing. So every week we have this class. It depends on the age group. I'm working with 4 to 6 and 7 to 9 kids. So, oh my gosh. All right.
Right.
Um, I'm working with these are it's what do you call this? It's a combination of typically developing kids, and we also have some um, kids with special needs. I have one with autism with me, but he could actually
Mhm.
just catch up with their lessons. So we actually did Cali Play because we saw the need of some parents, like they're having difficulty with working from home and with the kids beside them, so it's actually difficult to work but like while having them. So we
Exactly
gave that
true.
option to the parents. So to lessen the burden and also to give also the kids some playtime, at least meet some friends online,
Mm.
since we're having this already, and I think it's still going to be online for the next 2 years. I don't know, but at least we get to what do you call this? We get to connect with other parents as well. Other parents could actually just talk with others if they have some concerns or what. So yeah, that's basically what I've been doing aside from my church stuff. I'm actually very active in church also. I'm serving in a ministry, so yeah, that's what mommy says.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very difficult to catch, and yes, that's true. But for tonight, I really gave time since I also wanted to really share about autism, about why do therapy services, or maybe just some fun facts about everything we can talk about this subject. So,
Yeah.
hey, that's me.
Yeah, the Kali play, by the way, sure, it's really something that my kids, because all my kids, like from Kuya Rai and of course Skye, and Skye is the one with having the autism, and of course Frederick, the her little brother na makulit. So all of them were in the Kali play, and they're expecting every, like, we have a schedule every Monday and Wednesday, and yeah, for the three of them. So, and basically they're gonna expecting, when is the Kali play. They would always ask me that, especially every weekend, because every weekend, that's because I'm off from work, and both my husband and I are off from work. So they're basically expecting us to be like with them. So a lot of activities gonna happen. So that's why we will not be able to join the
Mhm.
Saturday
Yeah.
session. But basically they're expecting every Monday and Wednesday to join, and even like Kuya Rai is on every Monday, so Fred and Sky would always come over and make kulit-kulit with the Kuya, but I always, no, you need to go out because Kuya has different activity than yours. So they have like age group for Kali play session. So that's really something that makes the quarantine days, especially these days, very helpful for them, because they're used into like going to school, meet with other friends, and of course whatever they're doing at school, and they miss all that. And through Kali play, they're able to cope up with those things. And yeah, so much for that. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thank
I'm
you.
just gonna shout out before we can proceed. Daily Habit is here. Shout out to you, Daily Habit. And sabi niya kanina, Teacher Trish, congratulations, Teach Trish. sa
Thank
inyo.
you.
Because daily habit, by the way, the one that I mentioned to you, Chur, na by profession, he's also an occupational therapist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but he
Loves
has um,
pressure.
not so much. He's very supportive sa akin and of course to everyone here in YouTube. So very supportive yan. And sabi nga niya, dakilang tambay daw siya. Kasi
Maybe
every
one of
time that I'll
us.
because every time I'll do a live stream, he's always here. And of course, sabi niya,
Oh.
tambay na ulit, parang ganun. So, but that's really, really helpful. Every viewers or every tambay na pumupunta dito. And that's very helpful. And iba yung channel niya, iba yung niche niya sa channel niya. But despite of that, he's very, very supportive. It's a monetized channel.
Mm.
Laki-laki na niya, as in,
Wow.
Lodi namin. And we also welcome Carl Laker. Hello, host. Samsakdan. May co-host tayo. Ah, yeah. Yeah, that's teacher Trisha. So she's the occupational therapist of Skye currently from Your Thoughts Developmental and Therapy Center. So as she has was mentioned earlier, na close yung center kasi of at this time of crisis, diba? So but she's always busy. A lot of activities, extracurricular activities. So, at least, di ba, she was able to give us time to share with us some wonderful thoughts and autism later, or in a quite a bit. And shout out to you, Daily Habit from Car Laker, and shout out as well to Junior Girl UK. Yes, madami na tayong mga kaibigan nandito. At si Catherine nga pala, it's my office mate. Thank you so much, Kat. Kahit busy ka dyan sa extra na sideline mo din. Thank you so much. So there will be a lot of coming picture, but anyway, we can start. So
Yeah.
we can try to
Anything.
like
You can ask
or
anything. The audience can ask Char.
yeah. You can actually ask. You just have to type in on the comment box whatever questions that you have in mind about autism. But we have like three pointer agenda for agenda just to make sure just to make sure that we have something to share with you guys and with everyone. And for all those silent viewers, I am no madami ding mga viewers kasi na hindi nag-join sa ating live chat and sometimes would not be able because they're not into YouTube. Wala silang buhay lolo kung sabihin natin. But basically, they're just viewers. So, like, tumitingin lang sa mga kung anong nandito. Kung ano yung trending, parang mga ganun sila. And then, yung mga friends naman natin, basically, they would always find time to view kahit hindi nga at the point na nag-live tayo, but somewhere in their free time, they can be able to watch this. And I'm so thankful for them for that. Right. So, Teacher Trish, ano ba yung autism? So, yung layman's term na lang po para maintindihan ng lahat. Hindi naman lahat kasi naka-experience with someone having autism. So, ano
Yeah.
po yung pinaka-layman's term na pwede naming maintindihan about autism?
Autism. So it's actually autism spectrum disorder. So we usually call them ASD because I don't know
Mm-mm.
the profession. We just really call them ASD. So it's a spectrum, meaning it's a group of it's not really just one. Like usually for kids with autism, it's not like one size fits all. It's a spectrum, meaning there are a lot of differences in terms of like symptoms or the signs that they show. So these are kids who have difficulty with social interaction, simply making friends, or they have problems with expressing themselves. They can't really understand feelings well. It's not that they cannot, but it's difficult for them. It's difficult to reciprocate what we actually just told them or something like that. It's difficult for them to do social gestures. They can't really pick them up fast. They have problems with that. It's actually persistent, but it could lessen with therapy. And they also have difficulty with routines. They're usually rigid, so whatever they like doing, they just do it with a schedule. Like for them, it's much more organized because they also most of them they have also sensory issues. So what are sensory issues? So they have like they have problems with the way they feel or the way they can hear things or with their sight or just simply with their balance. And it's like simply the senses they have problems. It's not that um they cannot have them, but the processing of it is difficult. Like for example, I have
Mm-mm.
kids with me who don't like the sound of um, thunder, so they usually listen to this. Like they really they throw tantrums when they hear thunder because for them it's too much. For us, for typically growing people, for us who don't have difficulties with sensory processing, for them it's actually very annoying. It's like for us it's just a calm classical music but for them it's the boombox at their ears. So it's something like that. Like it's difficult for them. I can't really describe it in a way na it's like one sentence because I don't even for me when I was presented with autism, like with our during during my college years, it was difficult for me to understand it. I had to experience it for me to understand what autism really was about. So before I would say, koan, like this kid has, I don't know, he's weird or what, because I actually had um now that I look back, I actually had a classmate who was showing signs of autism, but he was high functioning. So I didn't understand back then. I just told I'm guilty of this. Like I just told my other classmates, oh, he's weird, he's like this and he's like that. But then when I actually studied autism, that's when I understood like, oh, okay, it's actually not his fault. He actually has problems with social reciprocity. That's why he couldn't connect with us. That's why it was difficult for him to make friends. That's why it's difficult for him to catch up with class because there were too many things going on for him. So there we usually for most of us it's difficult to just understand what it is, so it's best to experience it. So yeah, that for me that's how I could describe it as easy as possible, maybe. Like it's because it's a spectrum, like not it's not like for example heart attack, like it's the same for all. They have difficulty breathing, like that, but for autism it's different. it's um it's very varied. There are a lot of symptoms that could be seen from one child to another. So it's also varying in degrees. Like for example, I said my classmate before was high functioning autism, and right now with the kids that I'm handling, I have the low functioning ones, but I have the low functioning ones, and I have those with moderate problems. So but in the diagnostic criteria for the DSM-5, the Diagnostic Statistical Manual, they don't actually call them high functioning or the low functioning. Right now, we have level one. We have different levels of autism now. So, but we're still catching up on that because it's difficult to change culture right then and there. So yeah, even the terms, like for us, we're
Yeah.
still, like how can I say it in a way that you would understand me, like not too preachy about the terms and stuff. And I actually have my notes here so I could remember some stuff. But yeah, that
Yeah.
based on my experience, that's how I could describe autism with you guys.
Yeah, just like what with Sky the HR for that certain topic na like every time that he would like to get to know what the toy is about, she would
Mm-hmm.
actually scratch it first, try to
Mm-hmm.
listen for that, and then she got like tactile we call it tactile dysfunction, which basically anything that she would touch makes it very that's the kind of sensitivity that Sky has. So basically, she would touch the toy first and try to listen, and then she's very uniquely like
Mm-hmm.
handling the toy because she would always scratch it first and then try to listen though whatever the sound is before she would look at it and then try to play with it. So parang ganun si Sky din noon. And then sometimes right now she would just like to listen it, and she got that thing that whenever we would try to clean the ears,
Mm-hmm.
very sensitive siya na kahit ganun lang, like
Mm-hmm.
very little tip of that earbuds would touch her ear. Parang irritable na siya na nagwawala na as in wild siya. So we usually, if we would clean her ears, we would wrap her around with a blanket, and then we would always explain to her that it's not gonna hurt you, it's not gonna give you some pain, but despite of that, despite like we would show like to his brother or to her brother, like Kuya and Frederick, na look at Sky, so this is gonna not gonna hurt you, just gonna see this yellow thing. But despite of that, she would always like watch keenly on her brother and what's gonna going to happen. And then of course their brothers, I mean her brothers are very talkative and would explain it's not painful, Sky, it's not gonna give you some stings or something like that, but still Sky would really be um, going into a meltdown for that. So yung meltdown niya is like she would really cry out loud na parang inihaw. Parang bawi na inihaw. As
Yeah.
in, very, very loud na. But
Uh-huh.
she's not gonna hurt anyone though. But yun lang yung ginagawa niya. Like, very loud yung cry niya. Then someone, if you're outside and they would really ask, what happened to Sky? They would always
Mm-hmm.
ask me for that.
Yeah.
What happened to Sky? Why she's crying out loud? So then we would explain, we're cleaning her ears again. And they would know. And those people already know Sky would know, okay. They would do that. Sometimes also the tactile dysfunction of Sky, just like what I've shared on the last upload. I share a little bit of tactile, by the way, Chair, on like whenever she used to touch things because she's very sensitive for that. Let's say for example, when we go to the beach, she would not step on the sand. Parang awkward yung feeling niya. So she's afraid of those. But during interventions that we're gonna have with the SPAD class and of course with your thoughts, she was able to overcome those. So all those like disorders or sensory behaviors, some were progressively overcome, but some we're still working on those. So like yung sa feet niya, she would always look like walk on a tiptoe, and
Mm-hmm.
then very sensitive siya sa mga like rough flooring, so ganun. And then about touching things, before she would not touch the glue, she would not be able to like touch anything that the we call that clay, the play doh. Yeah, she's afraid of those, and she would really cry whenever we would throw her the little container for the play doh. She's really afraid of those, but through interventions, early intervention, she was able to overcome those. And right now, she's playing doh, and she could bounce, she could roll those that she's learning from your thoughts and all the interventions that we're doing at home. So those were just a few of those sensory issues that my kid or Sky is also happening, like happening on in her. And daily habit. mentioned here, just here to support. Sorry, I really wanted to join you, but need to also do something. Yeah, it's okay. Daily habit. It's always fun, and I'm so glad that you're here. Congrats, sky's the limit. Thank you so much. That's so kind of you, daily habit. And salamat po sa mga patambay natin from Car Laker, Junior Girl UK. Ayan. And shout out kay nandito si Roseman Ayuban. Thank you so much po. Good evening, good evening. So it's evening here sa Pinas, but some other countries watching over us here. So good morning, good noon, and good
Oh,
afternoon sa inyo lahat. So global yung ano, yung audience natin, sure.
wow.
Yung iba wala pa dito. Yung iba wala pa sila dito. Parang tulog pa. Yeah, so those were just few of the things that we can tell. But ano pa, sure, yung mga, kumbaga, early signs, may ganun ba? Early signs or
Mm,
signs ng mga autism?
early signs
Yung
like
sinabi mo,
maybe.
yeah, yung sinabi mo kanina, may mga autism na highly functional. So, when
Mhm.
can we say na highly functional sila or low functioning yung autism nila po?
Okay. Siguro I'll start with the the signs, the red flags. So usually red flags, it could show as early as maybe around 4 months or so. It depends. Kasi the usual
Well,
na
as early as 4 months, they sure.
like it's not really the 4 months, but it's more like for some kids, my god, it's most they have
Sure.
this thing called delayed social smile. So diba, when babies look at us, they and when we actually cuddle with them, they actually just smile at when they see us. I
Yeah.
don't know, for the parents, okay, you guys have that, right? I mean, I'm not a parent yet, so I'm not very experiential on that. But yeah, with the babies that we encounter, they smile as they see the faces of their moms or something like that. Well, for some, they actually don't have that. It's actually very delayed, or simply they don't have it yet. And also for some, kay they're like crybabies, kay they're very sensitive to touch, like what you said a while ago, tactile. They have tactile problem, they have touch problems. But usually the age where we're in, the parents could actually see, or even us, we could see signs of autism. It's at the peak of 2 years old. Why? Because at 2 years old, we're expecting the kid, according to developmental milestones, we're expecting the kid to be able to say a few words at least. But for these children, they usually either are nonverbal at that age, or they could only say hi, or just just some gestures. And um speech is actually just one of them. And number two, we could see that they have mga social sensory issues. Like for example, what I mentioned ganina, na auditory ones, like if it's too loud, they do this. Or if they're sensitive to touch, they actually hit people who touch them, because for them it's too alarming to be touched, just even just like this, it's alarming for them. Or like maybe for some siguro, like they keep on running around, because for them like for them the movement isn't enough. They have like balance, it's not really a balance problem, but it's more of a vestibular problem. And also sensory is part of that, the red flag. And also we have rigidity in routines. Like if I do this at this hour, this must be done. If not, then I'm gonna have my meltdown. If not, like I'm going to throw my tantrums, Jude, like no matter what the situation is. They actually can't really understand. And also they don't really have, for most kids, they have problems with eye contact. Like they do, or turning around when we call them. Like for I have like kids who come into the center for evaluation, when I usually call their names, they don't respond. So that's also that's also one red flag. Like for example, I'm just gonna call a name like Jaya, teacher's here, la 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 la, but then the kid doesn't actually turn around. So that's also part of it. And yeah, basically just rigidity with routines, sensory issues, like any, like they have also self-stimulating behaviors, like they always turn around. Like for I think Skye, you mentioned this to me, ma'am, that Skye also did turn around before.
Yeah.
Like for them it's very stimulating, they like it. It's not for
Mm-hmm.
us, we get dizzy right away, but for them it's not enough. That's why I have to keep on learning. Or yeah, those repetitive behaviors, that's what we call them. Or like for some also, they're very fixated with lights or colors, they like it so much, but
Right. Yep.
for the opposite side of the spectrum, they hate it. They're
Mm.
gonna have meltdown. So it's actually different for each child. So, but yeah, the first red flag, Jude, that we could usually see is mostly delayed speech and the rigidity of behavior and the repetitive behaviors that we see. So yeah, that's part. And then also the other question was about the level, right? The level of functioning. So we have level 1, 2, and 3, the severities. So um, we have the high functioning ones in the previous DSM. It's actually high functioning. We have, but for now, it's called the current one is level 1, requiring support. So it's not much. They're actually just, you know, they could talk normally. They could really talk. Like it's as if like they're just okay. They're just the typically developing ones. But then when we actually look closer into their habits, when we look closer into their patterns, we could actually see some differences ba? Like some okay, for us to understand, I don't know if you guys saw the movie Temple Grandin. So Temple Grandin is actually a high functioning autism. So for those who haven't seen it yet, I recommend the movie because it's very fun and it's also very informative. So Dr. Temple Grandin is actually a high functioning
Mm.
woman with autism. So she's a professor right now at Boston University, I think. And she's
Mm.
done a lot of studies in terms of cattle and like that. So she was diagnosed with autism at around, was it around 4? I can't remember, but when she
Mm.
was diagnosed, they thought that she would never speak again. But then she was actually able to speak at a later age, and then she has fixation with geometry. She hates algebra, but she loves geometry. And because of that, she saw patterns of cows and cattle. And she created a system on how to kill, like, she got exposed man good in like a, was it like a slaughterhouse for cattle. So she designed a system that would hurt the cattle's less. Marag, something like that. And basta just watch the movie so you could understand. But yeah, she was actually able to make friends. She was actually able to finish college. So these are people. She's one of the successful na people with autism. So she's the example for the high functioning ones. And we also have the low functioning ones. They're the level 3, or the ones requiring very substantial support. So they have very
Mm.
low na social emotional na, what do you call this? They have very low social emotional reciprocity, so they can't really just understand right away. These are people with very low na speech level, we can say that. And also these are people who really have difficulty with engaging socially. Like for them, okay, I just know my mom because she's always with me, parang ganyan. But if there are
Mhm.
new people, it's quite difficult for them to engage. And then they're usually it's not that they're nonverbal, Jude, but for some of them, okay, it's very difficult to engage in day-to-day life without someone else supporting them. They're the ones who have difficulty, how do you say it, they have difficulty transitioning with tasks. Like they get frustrated right away, they throw tantrums right away. So basically it's like the difficult na koan for them. Most of the tasks are quite difficult for them to do, but it doesn't mean they don't have the ability. It's just that there are a lot of things that kana ganing, there are a lot of things that how do you say it, like I'm thinking of a Bisaya word, but I cannot say it in
It's on a
Bisaya.
word, sure.
Like
Yeah, that's the
it's like
hard part of being Bisaya.
right. I want to talk in Tagalog, pero I'm not good at it. I get bulol when I talk in
Yeah,
Tagalog.
same here.
Sorry, viewers. I wanna try, pero I can't, dude. And like it's overwhelming for them, ba? Like these things are too overwhelming for them. They can do it. It's just that there are a lot of factors overwhelming them. It's difficult for them to cope. Cope. And then we have the level 2 or the moderate ones. It's they're not very high functioning, they're not low functioning. So it depends on the doctor if they would say that it's they're just in the moderate level. So I think I'm talking too much. I'm
It's
sorry.
alright, sir. Yeah, I can share a lot through our experience with all the things that you have mentioned. That when can you say that the kid has autism? Like the early symptoms or the signs that we can see for that for our kid. And we have some question from Roseman Ayuban. Sure, why
Mm.
early identification is important, Thou?
Oh, why is it important? Well, basically it's best to know early so that we could correct, or not really correct, but so that we could acquire the skills much faster. Okay. Um we understand, Mongo, that the formative years are very important. So whatever they learn at an early age, like for example, the um mga 3 to 7 na years of age, that's like it's not really kana na jud ang deadline, but it just means that during that age, kids can absorb a lot of things, like a lot. They're like a sponge na. They're just going to
Mm-hmm.
absorb everything. And when they do absorb a lot of things, obviously it's not just the positive ones, but also the negative behaviors might be learned. So with um, early detection, we could actually correct some um, maladaptive behaviors and also let them learn the better ones. So it's not that it's not that like kanang naadji deadline, but we we believe manggod in early intervention. It's much easier to teach someone who's still learning rather than someone who already learned that skill and teaching them. It's much more challenging. That's why we encourage early intervention also and early nga detection. So yeah.
Yeah. Based also on our experience here, just to also give um, my share of
Mm.
why the early identification is important, or basically why we should know those things that those signs of autism. Because yeah, everything has been well shared or well communicated to us by teacher Trish. But for me, it would be earlier. The earlier, the better that we can address those kind of disorders or basically the issues that we have in our kids or any person. because by then you could be able to understand the need of that person, and she or that person would be able to also know how to communicate of that, because basically the communication skill yun ang I think of all the disorders, one of the most important factor that anyone would know. We should be able to communicate. It's not just like one way communication, it has to be two. So you need to be understood and you need to also understand. So those kind of things are very important. So if those person or kid would not be able to relay, express, or you would not be able to also understand them, it would be very hard for them to, like, whenever they have come to an older age, basically para sa akin survival din yun. So if you don't know how to like be able to communicate to others what are your needs, or you would be able to, or others to also understand you, kung anong gusto mo, anong nasa isip mo, anong nararamdaman mo. So, parang ganun. Hindi ka din matutulungan. So, if parating na at the time, like, your parents, let's say the kid have grown up and then the parents would gone. So, yung parents lang yung alam or your family member could be, but you would not be able to like ask 100% of the support from, or probably may have be able to support the person or yung family member na may ganon, but the early intervention you may have um, inculcated to that kid would help that kid to grow a better and a productive person as well. So parang ma-achieve din niya kung ano yung potential na nasa kanya. So every person is unique naman, di ba? So though despite na ganun sila, of course, iba lang yung wiring ng kanilang mga brain
Yeah.
cells, so parang gano'n. But they have still, they think still the same as a person like we are, and they feel what also what we're feeling, but iba lang yung level sa kanila. So at the time na ano lumaki na sila, and then they would be able to have grown fully as an adult, they would be able to handle themselves, and they would be able to understand themselves, so that other would understand them, so that others would be able to also help them on their limitations. So parang ganun din siya. Then the other thing also, if early diagnosis is I'm sorry, my question pala tayo siya. Follow-up
Um,
question.
it's
I
okay.
thought it's a comment. Follow-up question from Roseman. If early diagnosis is important, then how do we really promote early diagnosis and early identification?
For a while. How do we really promote it? I think it boils down to, okay, let's point out the problem first. Why do parents don't really like to have early diagnosis, or why are they so scared of going to the doctor? Well, I can't blame parents, Manggod, if they feel that way, because of course it's daunting. And like, hala, what would the doctor say if we actually go there? Like, what would my child need? Like, is it the end of the world if it's like this or something like that? Well, I understand, kasi even for us siguro, like when we're feeling unwell and then when we go to the doctor we get a negative result or something, um it's very painful for us, especially parents ba. But then with this problem, Manggod, if we don't face it, it's the same with kanang life problems, but like if we don't face it, it's even more dangerous, not just for the kid but also for us, because when
Agree.
the kid would grow later, it there will be a lot of things that will be experiencing that we've never experienced before, and it's much more difficult to transition. That's why it's like a caution ba for these parents are who are fearful of going to the doctor. So how do we promote it? Simply we talk it out with the parents, like um because it's not very bad to have kanang kids with autism or any kind of special needs na children. It's actually a blessing for all of us, because I really like this answer that one parent told me. She said like, teach, it's very difficult. Like mahirap talaga yung pagpalaki ng child ko kasi ano, he's very different from his siblings. Like I have to give a lot of time for him to understand these things. Like he's very different in terms of learning. Pero but she said that but you know what? Because of him, I learned patience. Because of him, I learned how to deal things in different ways. I never knew that I could do this. I never knew that I could be a teacher to my own child. And with that, like she got to experience gani rejoicing in very little milestones. Like when her
Right.
kid kanang experience, like when her kid started to say hi or hello, she actually cried because for us, even for us therapists, we cry Jud. Like we cry when we see even the very little milestones. It teaches us mga these children would teach us to be grateful in the very simple things of life. They're actually very great blessings because for us like our brains are wired Jud nga complicated na, like we think of things so um we think that things are so complex and stuff like that we forget to see the little details of life. And with that, so like I encourage parents, but like if you know someone, just tell them that we may have the diagnosis or we may receive that kind of diagnosis, but it's not the end. As long as there are people willing to help, and as long as you're open to correction side with in terms of like seeing things differently, or as long as the parent is kanang willing gani to, as long as also the parent is willing to work with the therapist. Because of course I'd like to give this out, to give this out that therapists are, we're actually not the solution to the problem alone, because it's supposed to be a teamwork from the therapist and also with the parents, because therapists only work with the kids like 1 hour in like what 2 or 3 days, so that's basically 3 hours in a week. But then with the rest of that time, the kid is actually with the parents, so that's why it's very important that the parents would work hand in hand with us. And yeah,
Yeah.
as what I said, it's like it's not the end. There's still hope. There's still a lot of chance, especially when the kid is still growing up. It's better again, if it was like a medical doctor, they would say prevention is better than cure. But for us
Okay.
therapists, the earlier the better, because you can teach a lot of
Right.
things. It's better to teach them when they're younger than when they're older.
Remember.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I
I
think
have an
that's
equal share for that. Sorry to interrupt you, sure, but basically, whenever as this is according from the developmental idea that I was able to talk with when Skye was having that assessment, because he have like every 6 months follow up assessment from the time that she was diagnosed with the pedia. So the developmental pedia was really encouraging us to have my daughter into therapy, and then of course the daily interventions that we need to have at home still gonna be like a smart interventions for our kid. Because from the time the kid was diagnosed with ASD or the autism spectrum disorder, or whatever the issues that along with it, basically first year to 5 years of the age of a kid or a child, this is regardless of whatever the issues like what, let's say the kid is normal, or what we call typically the having that development at par with her or his age, or the kind of kid that has the autism, that the first 5 years very critical because they absorb like the very fresh sponge, parang ganun, that they can really absorb whatever information that the first statement that you have, they can always remember that even one single statement that you mentioned to them, they can remember that. Even the kid with the autism, they can really, really remember that, only that they have some issues or they have some difficulty communicating that, but they can always remember that. Because let's say, for example, for Sky, like now that she's 6 years old, she's still, I can say she's still a nonverbal kid, but regardless of that, she can tell us that whatever she wants or she needs. Let's say, for example, the time of the pandemic, we're basically having that regular activities outdoors and of course indoors, but she knows, regardless how we don't teach her that this is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Sunday. We have 7 days in a week, but she knows what to do on Monday, what to do on Friday, what to do on a weekend. She knows that because she remembers that whatever we do on those days or on those um, part of the day, she can remember that. We don't know exactly how she knows it, but she knows that, let's say, yung the time that the government or anyone has declared to have the quarantine, and of course we need to cut short the classes, we need to cut short the therapy sessions from the therapy school, and of course the daily outdoors that we do, like even when we play at the park, or even when like I bring her to the grocery or to wherever, because I always bring Sky wherever I go as much as I can. But on those time na cut off lahat, all the schedules are different. She's basically like whenever in the morning she has a routine. Like after she wakes up, she goes down, and of course hindi siya kakain agad, but muni-muni muna. Parang ganun si Sky. But she knows like after taking a bath, she would eat the breakfast, she would change clothes, and we'll go to her, let's say, mostly it's the therapy in the morning and then classes afterwards. So at that time, it's a Monday. I think it's Wednesday of 17. I think 17 na declared. March, I'm not sure. But on Wednesday, we have session for Sky. So she would know that she need to wake up early, eat the breakfast early, and of course go to school. So anong ginagawa niya? So as usual, she gets her own clothes for like, di ba may clothes tayo pambahay, may clothes tayo for outdoor. So alam na niya yung mga ganun. So basically, she gets the clothes for the therapy that she needs to go. So kinuha niya agad yung shoes niya, yung sock, and of course the bag and all. So parang just like the regular thing that we do. But we actually told her na no classes for today, Sky, no therapy session for today, Sky. We need to stay at home. So all those things we explained to her. But I am not sure if she was able to get that. But the routine that we have basically followed for Sky, parang alam nila, nasa sistema na it's in her time management. So, parang alam na niya kung ano ang gagawin niya. So, regardless of explain to her in words that this is what happened, we need to cut short the school activity or the session, parang hindi niya naintindihan agad. So, basically, ganun pa din ginagawa niya. So, she's getting ready for school. She got all, I mean, the water bottle, she put inside her lunch bag and all, and then she changed the clothes for outdoors, and of course, wear the shoes. So, basically we're having a hard time explaining, but that's really her like the daily activities that she have. So basically parang yun yung isang challenge. So if nakaano na sa kanya yung daily activities niya, so na-remember niya, then she would know na, I'm gonna wake up early because I'm gonna have therapy session for today. Because her school is basically in the afternoon and then therapy in the morning. So if it's Monday, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday, Thursday and then Friday for the group. So parang she knows already that she needs to wake up early. So may routine na siya. She got that time management already in her own. So parang nahihirapan kami na mag-explain talaga na you need to have this day to stay at home. So we have a challenge for that for the first week, because she would always like get her clothes, then later on, so probably on the third day that she get to understand oh, so we need to stop school. So hindi na siya kumuha ng bag niya, hindi na siya nagsuot ng sandal or ng school shoes niya. So parang naintindihan na din niya na we need to stay home. But sometimes ma-remember pa din niya, like I think it was yesterday that she pulls again her bag, her clothes for
Oh.
outdoors, and then she needs. I mean, we just allow her. Yeah, you wear that, but you just have to stay home. So carry yung backpack niya wherever she goes. So it's really funny, but we just have to let her, because that's how she feels. And then we just let her, and then later on, of course, she would return the bag, and then would be able to change. She would allow us to change her again to the pambahay na mga damit. So parang ganun. So and also one thing that I need to shout out here, because I think Roseman is also Roseman, sorry, is sharing. Let me show it up. That she said, we burst out every time we hear our children respond to us, even a simple hi. Yes, because yeah, mai-share ko din ano, Cher.
Sige.
Even the Sky is still a non-verbal, but on this, of course, we continue the daily activity, the daily intervention for Sky. So just to make sure na hindi siya stagnant, and of course, we need to really keep up for her to learn
Mm-mm.
more every day. So and basically I'm glad that she was able to, like, let's say a few words already, and then simple
Really?
hi is really yeah, a simple hi is
Wow.
really a burst out of joy for every parent,
Mm.
that
That's really
that the kid was able to really say some word, because somehow before she would just wave hands, and then somehow would not say anything. So, but now she would say hi, and then she knows me already. Before she calls me Mima, it's the back word for mommy. But she calls me Mima, but now she really calls me Mama or Mommy. So that's
Wow.
the correct word already. So it's even
Mm-mm.
with that just single word that she's learning, and it's really a burst of joy, and glad that she was able to say it correctly. And then right now, with the daily activities we have from her SPED class, because they have forwarded some modular
Mm-mm.
activities every day. So we do it at home, though parang teacher na din.
Mm-mm.
Teacher na pod ko, sure. But aside from the Kali play that we have, so they're really helping us parents to be able to help our kid to really be able to do smart things like any
Mm-mm.
kid would do. And then we're thankful that we agree with the developmental pedia that we need to have an early intervention, because we already saw the signs, and then we have the doctor assess the kid, my kid, and then
Mm-mm.
it's a confirmation. Though it's really hard to, I
Yeah.
know may awareness naman ako before about this one, but I'm just like a shocking. It's a shocking moment that
Mm-mm. Yeah.
oh, I have, I am on this
Yeah.
kind of situation. So before I was just like, oh, okay, that's it. But it's really more than knowing the words or knowing to understand
Mm-mm.
terms or terminologies, or just like what you've shared, sure, that you need to really experience what they are experiencing, so you would also understand them. So it's that
Mm-mm.
kind of challenge every day, and it's a great achievement to us. And I also agree. Teacher Trish, nag-agree din si Roseman. It's a great achievement to us teachers.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, so it's really kind of the kind of joy that they bring, and also when you are providing them the early intervention, daily activities, or not so regular activities that we know that we will be doing to preschoolers. But those early interventions really help out the kid, and not just the kid, but also the parents, to make them more smart as they are, or be able to express themselves as what they are trying to say or trying to communicate. And by being able to understand them, also would help us provide them what's better for them, or what's really yung
Yeah.
sinasabi natin na yung dapat nating maibigay na kind of learning din sa kanila. So it's really helpful for I could not really express in the exact word of how helpful the early intervention is, but getting to understand the signs, and ourselves, I believe as a parent, the acceptance, that's the very first thing that we need to learn, because it's not that easy. It's not that kind of the challenge in your life na like you can hurdle anytime, but basically it has to be a daily habit. I should mention. But
Yeah.
my lobat lobat yung ano ko, sir, but I need to recharge. Hold on.
Okay. Yeah, actually, like I can really see, sad, like in my point of view, like seeing parents struggle with the diagnosis. Like for me, it's also hard because like I don't have a child who has it. So like for them, for a lot of parents, they would say, "Ah, teacher, you don't know Manggod because it's like this and like that. Like you don't know the struggles that I'm facing or what. Like teacher, like this, like that. They can't even tell me, teacher, if like they have problems with this and that." But then, um, well, the thing is, like I could empathize in a way because like I may not have a kid on my own, but I've shared my life also with these kids. But so like I really understand na it's very difficult also for the parents to accept it. But then yeah, it's a daily thing. It's not a one time big time thing. Like acceptance will just come as long as we also open our hearts to it, and um just seeing things but like in a different point of view. I had this I had this um I read this short lang kanang reading comprehension a while ago. It was about point of view. Like they see a lot of people see the backyard as just like, oh, I see the worms, I see the mushrooms, I see spiders, I see ladybugs. But then for some people, those who try to to look at things differently, they would say, oh, for the mushroom, they're gonna say like, oh, that's the umbrella for the spiders and they need to hide under it. Or like maybe the stick, it's it's a squiggly ladder of for the ladybug. So it's actually just it depends on how we view things. Like
Right.
it's not really entirely bad, like it's not entirely bad to have kids with special needs. It's actually a joy for me. It's such a joy to be working, especially with Skye. Like I
Mhm.
had difficulties with Skye at first because, well, I was still adjusting also. And then like for me, like I hit a roadblock. Like for us therapists, we have this frustration. Like for so long, like why can't we achieve goals? Or like what am I doing wrong? Or like we have these roadblocks. Like it's very difficult also for us. Like we try to look for things because for us, like it's more than just the work, but it's about just helping the kid cope with life. And also like give the parents also that koan ba, um that what do you call that um that ease or maybe comfort gani. Like if we get to achieve goals, like we rejoice with the parents and like that. Like it's not like for us, we get attached to the kids also because we work with them for such a long time. Because again, autism is a persistent na case. Like it's lifelong. Well,
Mhm.
and so we work with them through quite a lot of time. Put like yeah, for us, although we don't have our kids yet, but then like we love having this life with the kids and also with the parents. Okay, it's more of like a community where we could help,
Right.
extending our help, extending our hands. Although like we don't know everything, but we
Mm-hmm.
actually try our best to problem solve with the kids and also with the parents and also with Sky. I've tried a lot of things like it because it's different per kid, as what I said. Like it's difficult to look for activities that would actually target Sky's problems so that I could actually
Mm-hmm.
achieve some goals. But then it's been a joy really working with her. Like
Mm-hmm.
kanang I've seen how she matured in such a way that she's very decisive already.
Mm-hmm.
She's like if she
She's
wants
that
this, she
teacher
really wants it. And
that,
she's really
oh,
gonna say it. And kanang for me it's an achievement because although like there are some difficulties pod like with her, but then like seeing these kids having their own decision, it's
mm-hmm.
actually such a great milestone already. It's better than kids who just passively sit there and just do nothing. It's better
Yeah.
for the kid to be more active rather than just being passive. So yeah, that's why I really, and I was challenged with Sky's new behavior back then. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, wait, what? Wait, like, why are you like this? Like, I wasn't ready for this
Oh,
because I was
yeah.
so used to her just being passive. But then she actually just switched. Like, teacher, I want this. Parang ganyan. Like she would just
Mm-mm.
kind of grab something. I want this. I want to do this. And I was like, wait,
Mm-mm.
like, wait, what? So yeah, um, but
Yeah.
it's actually good for me. No, it was actually good. So yeah, that's how we therapists actually rejoice with those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. I need to interrupt, Shreya,
Mhm.
because we have some like our kasisi here that
Oh,
has
okay.
like having a premiere upload. So I just
Mm-hmm.
gonna share the screen here. So we'll
Okay.
stop for a moment. So commercial break
Okay.
muna, and then
Okay, go.
I'll share the screen for Junior Girl UK. She's having a premiere right now.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll get back with the sharing afterwards. Just gonna share the screen though. So just sit back and relax and let's try to enjoy the lovely birthday presents of Junior Girl UK. All right, here. Oh, nakamute siya. Okay. So that's Junior Girl UK on her premiere. So she's from UK,
Wow.
but she's a Pinay. Yeah. Wow, opening of gifts. Wow, a bunch of gifts.
Sana all. Ooh.
Nice. Wow.
Wow.
All right. So that's lovely gifts from Junior Girl UK. Okay, let me stop the sharing. All
Sana
right. Yes, and so basically, that's the current upload of Junior Girl UK. So one of our besties here in YouTube. So her channel is more specific on creative ideas. So nandito
wow.
siya ngayon. So kaya nag-promote na din ng uploads niya. So si Junior Girl UK is very artistic siya. So madami siyang mga alam-alam in terms of creative ideas. So
Wow.
Puwede nating puntahan. So, yun yung ano lang, pretty simple yung Thanksgiving, upload niya, but yung niche niya is more on like yung tissue ginawa niyang damit, yung mga
Oh,
gano'n.
really?
Yung garbage yeah, garbage
Maturo po.
bag, the garbage bag, she was able to make it into a very nice OOTD, and then
Oh.
dami siya like from wet tissue, from garbage bag, plastic bottles, from ano pa yung mga ginagawa mo, beshi, yung parang may ginawa din siyang from gift wrapper na naging damit, naging gown, so
Wow.
nag-alter din siya ng mga like t-shirt pero ginawa niyang OOTD na din. So very creative yung si Beshi natin na si Junior Girl UK.
Nice.
Yeah, very creative siya. So thank you sa ano sa lahat na pinood at nag-view sa kanyang channel. Alright, so kanina nga pala nag-knock on the door sina Fred and Skye. So just gonna have them over.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. here. Oh,
Hala.
dali, dali. Come here. Good night. Okay. It's my teacher. So that's teacher Trisha.
Hi,
This is
Fred.
Frederick. It's my teacher.
Hi, Rai. Oh, we can't hear you, ma'am. Okay, I think they're still connecting with their audio. But yeah, Fred is my student in Cali Play also. He missed this week's class because they were busy at home. Fred, I can't hear you. Teacher Josh can't hear you. Oh no. I cannot hear you. No volume. Cannot hear you. No volume. No volume. No no audio.
Okay.
There.
Here.
There.
All right.
Hi Fred. Hi Fred. Hello? I think they got disconnected again. Oh no.
Hello.
There. Hi
There.
Fred.
I cannot see you. So that's teacher
You cannot see
Trisha.
me?
Yeah, I cannot see you. I'm
Where were
also
you?
moving the
Where's
next
the
of
sky?
yours. All
Hi
right. So this is Skye.
Sky.
Skye, you say hi to teacher. Skye very many.
Hi. You.
Skye has many fans.
She has many fans, right?
Yeah, Skye
She
has
got
many
a
fans.
thousand views naman, diba, in YouTube.
Yeah, they're very excited whenever I'm into live stream. Okay, so much for that. Yeah, that's you. No, sorry, sorry, sorry. Sorry, Kuya.
Fred, where
Okay.
were you last Wednesday, Fred? Aw. Fred's one of the most active students. Always sings and dances with me. We cannot hear you though.
Okay,
Oh, there
sorry.
we
I'll
go.
hear you now. They hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
I'm
I just
ready
told
my next
everyone
vlogger
you're my most
future.
active student. You always sing and
Yeah.
dance with me.
What are you doing here?
Mommy invited me.
No. So it's now
Steal man.
okay. You're done with the question. What's your question for teacher?
You
Don't know.
don't know?
Yes, Sky is also pretty doing something over there. It's
Guys,
following
doing.
you. Yeah. Yeah. Can you sit down? I mean, can you give me the phone now and I will talk to teacher Trishan to everyone. There are a lot of viewers we have in here. We have 10 million viewers.
You're gonna be popular na Fred.
Oh,
Hello, where's my baby bus?
you're Fred. Teacher Trisha said that you're gonna be popular.
Where's my baby bus? Yeah, I'm also gonna be popular. First, soon.
Okay, you go to
Also
daddy
right.
now.
I just want to watch this.
Okay.
Damn, do this.
They're always making fun. No.
Oh, I see. You're looking at me on the camera also. My face looks so big there, Fred.
Yeah, they're looking at you too.
Fred, you really like to be popular no on YouTube, no?
Classmate.
You want to be a vlogger?
This is not Kali Play. I'm
You
on
really like
live.
to be popular on YouTube.
Sure,
Yeah.
she.
Want to be a vlogger? He thinks it's Calipe.
Yeah, she thought that it's Kali Play because he's asking where his classmates.
It's not
You need
Calipe today, Fred.
no. I have teacher on my live.
Mama. I'm gonna be the
Nah,
future YouTuber.
no, no. Look at them. They're trying to replace.
The kids take over now. Yes, you just watch me on the phone. You watch me and Mama on the phone na lang. Okay? Just watch me on the phone. You watch me and Mama on the phone na lang.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. They're out of the. I'm gonna need them to be out of the room. Okay. So can you share to everyone, sir, like what any friend, sorry, if you can share to everyone what any friend or parent would do once they able to see signs and symptoms for kids with autism. While
um
you're going to
mhm.
share that, I'm gonna let them out of the room because
Okay.
they're so noisy.
Okay.
Okay,
Uh
go ahead, share.
first, if you see signs and symptoms, like I this one day I first it's good to do research, but then Tito Google isn't, or Uncle Google isn't really good at that because some articles are what do you call this, they're exaggerated, so it might either cause anxiety or too much worry on the parent. But yeah, it's helpful, but then not to believe everything too much, because not all things posted on the internet is actually true or something. So what happens is that when you've done your research, you could actually look for friends who know things about autism, or maybe you have parents who kanang have experienced it. And then after that, you could go to a developmental pediatrician. For these you actually have to do a schedules first with them, and then usually they take around 3 to 6 months before you could actually have the evaluation with them. So when you do go to a development a dev ped, when you go to them, you could they're going to assess your child. They're going to check what are the signs and the symptoms, and then they could officially diagnose. Well, not everyone, not all kids would be diagnosed with autism right away, because for some manggod, like as early as 2 years old, some would just actually just say global developmental delay, because it's not certain yet if they would have autism or not, because sometimes it could just be a speech delay, or for some it could be that they're just having delays because they weren't exposed to much stimuli. Like for example, they didn't have a lot of people talking with them, and that's why they have these awkward behavior or awkward these milestones they haven't really achieved yet. So it could be that that's one of the reasons why the doctors would diagnose global developmental delay. And then when you have this re-evaluation, I okay, wait, pause. I'm gonna pause for a while. So when we go to the developmental pediatrician, we get a diagnosis from them, and then they would recommend therapy services to us. So the child may need occupational therapy and partnered with speech therapy. And also, they could also have physical therapy if they have motor skills na delays. They could also have that. Or they could, if the child is old enough, they would recommend some SPED centers or SPED schools so that they could be in school. And when you have that recommendation, you could go to a therapy center, and then have an OT evaluation. So an OT evaluation is very different from the evaluation from the doctor, because in OT evaluation it's much more comprehensive. There are um, there will be skills and also the diffi- different problems that could be written in the evaluation, and it would help us what do you call it? It would help us see the other problems also, and then create goals using them. We assess them and then create the goals, and then after, then we have the therapy sessions after the evaluation, and then after quite some time we go back to the developmental pediatrician to have a re-evaluation to see if goals were met, or if there were milestones that were achieved during that time. So yeah, basically that's how the process goes. And us OTs, we work hand in hand with speech therapists also, um, because a lot of them usually have speech delays. So the speech therapy would actually target that. For us OTs, we're more on play-based intervention. So for a lot of kuan siguro, a lot of parents, parang pag nakita nila kami mag-treatment, they're gonna say, ano naman yan, laro-laro na lang naman yan, so ba't kami babayad dyan, or something, something. Some would actually say that, because that's what they only see. But um, we also want to remind parents that kids um, learning is actually based on play. They don't like the traditional way of learning. They don't really like, just sit down and then write stuff on the board or write stuff on the paper. They learn better when they play. It's just like us, when we're very interested with something, we can absorb it right away. And that's why and that's what OTs use. We're actually trained to use play as intervention with these kids. And it's not just really the play that we're targeting or we're letting them learn. We're actually exercising a lot of muscles. Like for example, with Skye, I'm working on with fine motor skills ni Skye. She's not very interested with writing yet, and that's why I always do activities that would strengthen her fingers. I do mga simple lang, like we do clay pinching, or maybe we kanang transfer pegs using tongs. For us it may seem very simple and we can do these activities at home, but actually us OTs, we're targeting a lot already. We're targeting her comprehension, we're targeting her how she deals with frustration, and also how she could have these milestones in how she could achieve these milestones in a creative way. So that's what we usually do sa OT, and we also correct some behaviors, especially when they're not appropriate. Like we help them cope with stress. That's why with frustration, we help them, and also we target sensory issues. Like with Skye, I've targeted also her her sensitivity to ear Q-tips. Like she usually hates it. She hates it. She threw tantrums when she saw it. And so what
Yeah.
I did was she really cried a lot during that session just by seeing the Q-tip. But then I gave with that I still gave her a lot of preparatory activities. You know, conditioned her, just place the Q-tip even when we're just doing something else, just like in front of her, and then eventually we held it together and then counted 1 to 10, or just just some techniques that we do, and then eventually she was able to at least let me just do it outside of her ear. So to me that's a great achievement na kay knowing gani that she has sensitivity to that. So yeah, I'm that's how we do therapy. So it's not simply play, but we actually have um we have rationale why we do these things. So yeah, that's what we do, and we also encourage the parents to do it at home, because again they have more time spent with them, and also they could do even more things at home. So yeah, that's what happens when the doctor would actually recommend for therapy already. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Teacher Trip. So, sabi nga ni ano kanina, shout out ko lang si Mia Patterson, sana all Fred, virtual hug. Thank you. Yeah, Fred is very talkative and very conyo. So,
Yeah.
he speaks English all the time. Though we were speaking all in Bisaya, English yung bata na yun.
Ah,
So, ganun siya. Ganun
hey,
siya. So,
mommy.
and then, and sure, I mean, he wanted to really, because I think he saw that from me, like doing vlogs. So, parang, that's why I created
Mm.
an account for him because he wanted to be a vlogger as well.
Wow.
And he have a lot of videos on my phone, like saying, "Hi, hello, subscribers." He would do like that. Please like and subscribe. He would do that. Very cute and funny. And then he would ask Sky, "Sky, come here," and then Sky to join on his video. But basically, interruption lang, commercial lang yun. But anyway, thank you so much, Teacher Trish. And I would really agree with you. You need to have once you see the signs and symptoms and getting know that your kid is not like any other kid, and you experience a lot of unusual or probably not the way at par at her or his age. So might as well stick with the our developmental pedias, and not just our pedia. They can advise and they would tell also some differences that they would notice, but they would always refer you to the developmental pedia. And those friendly doctors are very helpful enough for us to be able to also know the like give you a little bit of an orientation if you're the like first time to visit the clinic. And then Sky is doing something here again. So she loves all the colors. By the way, she's learning a lot of colors at this time, sure.
Wow.
Like at home, because
Very good.
yeah, I bought her a lot of like 72 colors, but she can
Wow.
identify now probably the basic colors that we have, so the eight basic colors. So she knows that. I am so glad of the quarantine because we made a lot of wonderful moments with Sky
Wow.
and all her brothers, Fred and Rai, with us also. And shout out ko lang dito, Teacher Trish, yung mga bagong pasok nating kaibigan. Nandito yung si Cici Janice and Carlos Sinomio, si Lilith
Hi.
US Channel, and of course, nandito pa din si Junior Girl UK. Ayan, so yung mga lahat na may sinomyo dyan, mga anak yan ni Cici Janice. Thank you so much, Cici, for coming over and for listening to our talk. So we're almost done, though. This is just first part of our live stream today. Whenever Sky would touch my chin, she would basically wanted to say me something. What do you want? Hi. Teacher is here listening.
Hi.
Ayan. Teacher, you still remember
Did you
teacher?
forget my face na? Because I cut my
Mm.
hair.
Because you look younger today, Cher. Yeah. I think you wanted me to say something sa caller. Yeah. But yeah, going back to the last topic that we're gonna have for like as a parent, we need to seek with professionals. Started our pedia, our babies doctors. So they would tell you a lot of things, and they're gonna refer you to developmental pedias. And after which, of course, our dev pedia would also refer us to like an occupational therapist, like Teacher Tresha, and speech pathologist, like for the speech therapy, because most kids with autism has speech delay. They would normally have that delayed on language, so they will not be able to say anything or like zero verbal, but they would hand lead you to whatever they want. So hand lead is like basically gonna pull your hands and they're gonna lead you to wherever they want you to pick up something, or they want something like a food or water. They would not say anything for that, but gonna pull just your hands or push you towards that area that they want, and gonna ask something. So basically that's the normal for the kids with autism. So that's why we also need a therapist for speech, and of course the occupational therapist. They gonna give us some guide on whatever interventions that we're gonna do to address a lot of issues that we're gonna experience, and they would tell us more depending on the kind of observations they have, and the kind of behaviors our kids have, and a lot of behaviors that we can address with the help of them. And there's really like more than a therapist for me. So basically, hindi na lang parang professional relationship na build up between us and the therapist that we have. Though we're changing, because like hindi naman si Teacher Tresha yung first therapist na nag-handle kay Skye. But basically, the third, is it the third? Sure. The first one is Teacher She, and then Teacher Jen,
Teacher Jen.
and
Okay.
then you. Okay, and then sometimes Teacher Louie, whenever no one like they're on leave, so sometimes Teacher Louie would handle Sky. So madami na yung nag-handle kay Sky. And aside from that, the regular daily SPED class or the intervention center that Sky is also going to regularly. And it's more than just the professional relationship, as I must say, but they're basically helping us parents to overcome the challenges, the daily challenges that we have. And of course, yung mga times na hindi namin alam, like how we can address those kind of behaviors that where kids are showing up. So they're able to give us some ideas, and they're able to provide us the activities that would help address, like yung sinasabi kanina ni Teacher Trish, that Sky has some problem with the fine motor skill. So that's basically holding just a simple pencil. So parang basic naman sa kid, like hand grab yung ginagamit. So but Sky is having that difficulty of really holding the pencil. They don't. Sorry, Sky. So because she don't want me to touch her pencils. So parang those fine motor skill that they need is just basic of those things that they should know. And Teacher Trisha is really working on those kind of issues that my daughter is also having. So any kid would be having that fine motor skill at first, but this kind of kids are really having some challenges. Though they're strong, they can be able to grab things, but at some point when they're asked to write something, it's really I'm not gonna able to speak like specific word, but parang marunong naman silang mag-handle ng mga things, or mag hold ng mga things, but if you're gonna ask them to write something, parang ang tamad na nila. Tamad na nila magsulat. They're tired. They look like they don't know anything, but or hindi lang, they just don't want to write. So they're having that kind of behavior. But if you're gonna ask them to do that, and of course they're gonna somewhat their response would be some laziness, or something that they will cry, or something they get angry. But somehow you need to have them to write, or to ask them to write, and they need to learn how to write. Kasi mahirap naman, no read, no write. Di ba?
Yeah.
So they're just basic though, but it's really important for a person to know those kind of things. So the therapist, like teacher Trisha, is really helping us out, and some also, like any one of you probably know someone who has or their kid having those symptoms or signs of autism. At least you know something. Hopefully, you've learned something from us today, and you could be able to share this upload or this video to them, so they would be able to also um, somehow get some idea of what the signs and symptoms or the sign and symptoms of autism and what they can do. So parang for me that's the basic. Learn to accept their reality, then seek professional help, and of course those are for the pedias, the pedias, and professional help from our therapist. And the second or the third thing that any parent or a friend could do is basically learn to understand how they feel or the parent would feel. You need to be on their shoes. You need to be able to um, feel what they're feeling or understand what their challenges are. So you would be able to have the things lighter to them because it's really not that easy. And once you're able to like they need to speak out. Like for us parents, we need to speak out. So somehow aside from the therapist, you're able to speak out with other parents as well having their kids with autism, and then that's helping us a lot emotionally. And we need to have like a support system for those. So the first, probably I can think is the first support system is if you're married, of course your husband or your wife if you're a guy, and of course family members. That's the first support system that you can have, and of course other group of friends, or and of course other parents that you can also seek emotional support, and that's really important.
That's true.
Yeah, and the other thing is that as a parent to do whenever you have seen your kid having autism is help your kids out, do the daily activities, daily interventions that the therapist or the doctors have shared to you, and you will be able to have your kid progress grown out to be not that kind of a down level kind of person, but basically something unique and small, what do you call this, special. They really are special, or they're like they said gifted. So each one of us is really unique though, but they have found something in them that you should be able to, like yung kanina, sinasabi kanina, like they were able to learn patience. So somehow these kids can bring you something unique in your lives. So parang ganun lang siya. And I really hope, I think that's the thing. I could we're already 2 hours in here. Thank you so much, everyone. And of course, teacher Trisha, thank you so much
Thank you so much for
for
having me.
sparing your wonderful time with us, and you're sharing a lot of things to
I
us.
hope you guys learned something. I'm
Yeah, we
very
hope
talkative.
so. It's okay, sir, because we need that. We need someone that who can really talk and share wonderful ideas on autism. And I'm so thankful. We have earlier. I'm not sure if still she's still here. Some team leaders also trying to team leaders, by the way, from YouTubers of the Philippines. That she's here, enjoying, and sana nag-enjoy siya. But yeah, she's very supportive one to every small YouTuber like me, and
Wow.
very support. Yeah, very supportive, and she's also a nurse by profession,
Mm,
so she knows or understand about this kind of cases, and that's why she was able like to see my channel that it's about this, and hopefully um, everyone here shout out muna kay Mike Joy Vlogs. Thanks so much. Yeah, so basically sana naman may natutunan kayo sa ating sharing for today. And this is just first part of my live stream. So I'm gonna have the second part. So I was just gonna end this broadcast for the meantime, but basically, please be back on part two. May part two tayo. So that's the games and on all the channel promotion. This year we will be promoting some channels just like what I did earlier with Junior Girl UK. So it just so happened that she have an uploaded video that we need to or probably witness together. So it's more like that we're gonna do in part two. So I hope you can join still if you still have time. I know it's late, but gonna have some more games and paangat program, but then we call it paangat program. So it's channel promotion for each one of us that's gonna be joining for the live stream. But for the meanwhile, thank you so much, Teacher Trisha, once
Yes, I
again.
can I add something?
Yes, yes, sir.
I'm going to promote Teacher Intan's YouTube channel.
Ah,
I
okay.
forgot lang. I'll look for it. But it's I think the scribbling therapist. I think that's her YouTube. But then she's also an occupational therapist. She's
Oh,
my dear
yeah.
friend, and
Yes.
she has a lot of tips also there. She shares
Mhm.
about also autism, about therapy. So maybe I'll just send out the link in the chat box later, or I don't know. I'm just gonna send it to you, ma'am, for
Um,
ano, for
or
also
probably,
from you.
sir, yeah, or
Mhm.
probably on part two of this live stream because I'm gonna have
Mhm.
because this live is all about the autism awareness that I'm having. So we'll have part two, and probably if you can still join, you can also drop the link of Teacher Intan and of course your channel if you want.
I don't have a channel yet, but I feel like
So
I want
yeah,
to have one.
yeah, we can promote promote na natin diyan si Teacher Intan. And yeah, she's also one of on Play Skye's teacher every Monday. And absent nga si Sky minsan. But yeah, hope to see you in part two of this live stream. Thank you so much, guys. I'm gonna end the broadcast now, and we'll see you in part two. Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
How do we end?